Ahoy, Blazing Knights! It is I, Blazeix. Are you ready for a high seas adventure? Join me and my mighty crew as we set sail to face the mighty sea kings, clash with other pirates, and take down those dumb marines. Join me for a high seas adventure! What's up, my Blazing Knights? It's me, Blazeix. A lot of you said I had a lot of energy. Well, that's the most energy I've wasted. I really wanted to do something different in this video, but I'm grateful that it happened. I'm also sure I lost my voice. Anyways, what's up, my Blazing Knights? It's me, Blazeix, and welcome back to Blazeix Reacts. Today, we are not reacting to anything, because we are doing something different that I've been wanting to do for a while. As most of you guys know, I love One Piece. It is by far one of my favorite animes, and a lot of people really like the anime after coming into it now. And I'm saying this like I'm any different. I came in during the whole Cake Island. But I'm grateful that a lot of people are really loving it despite how long it is or how long it's still going. Hey, for 25 years, this still keeps up. And despite basically airing this many episodes, getting so many manga out each year, still worth it. Still worth it. And I just really love the fan base. A lot of us are pretty chill about the One Piece because we're still waiting for what it is. And I'm so grateful that I caught up because definitely One Piece is one of the best anime out today. If not the best, it's one of the best anime out there. Really recommend it if you guys have not seen it yet. Know it's a lot, but after catching up, you'll be like, how is there not enough? Anyways, besides the point. The point of this video is that I really want to do something special. This is a double upload today, and I hope you guys are really ready for this video because it's one of my favorite videos. I actually did this a couple years ago, and thankfully I can do it again because today we will be doing the One Piece Pirate Crew Tag! Honestly, one of my favorite tags that I've done on this channel, and I've only done 2. Basically what this tag is, it was made by a bunch of One Piece fans to just sort of throw yourself into your own little crew and basically pick characters that you think would work well together to help you get to the One Piece. I actually did this tag a couple years ago. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a long time. And I wasn't thinking about doing this video, but somebody actually asked me while we were in the Odin flashback that you should do a new version of this video now that we know more about Roger, Whitebeard, because Odin was on both crews. Spoiler alert. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And I kind of waited until we were out of the flashback, and then we kind of got into Onigashima, and more characters were getting introduced. And I just kind of needed to know more about their powers to see if I wanted them on my crew. But a lot of them were just kind of regular Zoans or just ancient Zoans. I mean, Black Maria was a mythical Zoan, but I didn't really care for her abilities enough. But I waited until after Wano to just kind of analyze their powers and abilities and just kind of get a feel. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. And then something came out, and I kind of wanted to wait for that. And now here we are, on my birthday, finally doing this tag. By the time this video's out, a new One Piece episode should come out, so I'm hoping I'm timing this right. Anyways, why don't we get into this tag, because this is the whole point of the video. Anyways, what is the One Piece tag, you may ask? Allow me to explain. You are the captain of your own pirate crew. There are certain things you must mention. 1. What is your devil fruit power if you have one? Make your own up, or choose an existing one. If you aren't a devil fruit user, say non-devil fruit user. 2. What is your role what role would you play besides for captain? Pretty explanatory. And 3. Pick 12 One Piece characters, 6 fighters and 6 supports, and form a crew that you believe could handle the new world and help you become the king of the pirates. Specify fighters and supports and what supports would help with. There's only one real restriction. You cannot have any of the Yonko. The Yonko, for those who are unaware, are basically some of the more powerful members of the One Piece verse. The Marines are so scared of them, they need the Admirals and the Warlords. Basically, powerful Marines who who work for the Marines and pirates that work for the Marines. So yeah, they're scared of the Yonko. Halves are present on your crew. So you cannot have Kaido, Big Mom, Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Shanks, Luffy, Buggy, Law, or Kid. I know Kid and Law aren't specifically Yonkos, but they're close to that level. They basically, spoiler alerts, have the same bounty as Luffy at this point in the story. So, why not just call them the 6th Yonko? That's how I feel about it. Also, film characters are allowed. So I had to think about this a lot when I actually came up with this idea for the video, because there is a lot of One Piece characters and not too many are really speak to me unless they're like major characters in the plot or major characters that join the crew or the main crew, the Straw Hats. Like Jinbei should probably be everybody's pick if you ever want a fish man. Like again, these are characters that are like loved by fans, even loved by popularity contests. Like I think there's a certain character on my list that I'm pretty sure, on the list where characters are just like so loved by the fan base that they just want to see more of them and are excited to see them. Like that's the kind of thing you see from the One Piece fan base. And when I say loved, like they will go certain chapters without seeing a character, and then that character will show up and be like, oh my gosh, they came back! So I had to think about this because there are a lot of characters that I really liked in One Piece, and either they were Yonkos or they were characters I specifically did not want on my crew. Or I wanted on my crew, but I basically put limits. One of which was I didn't have any Marines. I don't want any weak Marines, and I didn't want an Admiral on my crew because I want to take them out. 2, I didn't really pick any characters that weren't necessarily canon. Because how crazy could their abilities be? Also, not having Luffy, and considering that he is a Yonko at this point, I didn't want to have him on the crew. That's just it. So, without further ado, let's place into action. So, I am going to pick a Devil Fruit. I wanted to pick something that was actually not used in the story, but I'm positive exists in canon, considering how many of these types of Devil Fruits exist. I basically chose a mythical Zoan. So, it's a mythical creature that does exist, but the payoff is a lot, especially when you actually awaken the ability. So I chose the Neku Neku no Mi model Manticore, which is basically the Cat Fruit model Manticore. Essentially, the fruit allows you to turn into a flying lion with either a scorpion tail or a snake tail. Depends on what kind of Manticore it is. I've heard different descriptions of it. Sometimes it has a snake tail, a tail that has a snake on it, and other times it's a scorpion tail with the stinger and everything. But I just thought it would be interesting to have that ability because not only are lions strong, but a Manticore can fly. How scary would it be if a Marine just it's like looking through on the lookout and he just sees a flying lion and he's just like, Rear Admiral? Do lions fly? And he's just like, wait, what are you? Oh no. He just looks up and he just sees a flying lion coming in and it's just like, uh-oh, we're dead. My goodness, that would be hilarious if Oda, you need to make the Manticore fruit canon. Please make it canon. Oh my gosh, that fruit. I had so much fun picking a Devil Fruit that this just made. I just came up with this too. It's the funniest thing ever. As for what my position on the crew would be, probably Navigator. Like, despite everything that we've seen in One Piece, there's like little to no Navigators on this crew. On any other crew besides for Obviously, Shanks and Whitebeard obviously have a navigator. I'm sure Big Mom and Kaido have navigators. Blackbeard most likely has a navigator. I don't know who it is. Probably Van Augur or somebody. Who knows? But I just kind of want to nip that in the bud and just have me be the navigator. At least then we'll get somewhere. Like, that's probably like the one thing that most people would want. Give me the navigator role. At least then we'll get somewhere. So I can be the captain and the navigator. Ah, crud, I just screwed my entire crew. They'll be fine. Now we talked about my character, why don't we get to my entire crew? Now for my entire crew, I started with the supports first just because they might actually do better. And I thought that you kind of can't do anything without a certain archaeologist. And because I am a Zoan and I kind of want to know more about how the Zoan ability works, I wanted to keep a certain doctor on my crew. So that's basically what I wanted to do. So for my first support, we're going to have Nico Robin. Nico Robin is the archaeologist of the Straw Hat Pirate crew. She is known as the Devil Child Nico Robin for the disaster of O'Hara, despite the fact that it was definitely the Marines' fault. Screw you, Marines. Or screw One Piece's Marines, I should say. I gotta specify. Screw One Piece's versions of the Marines. They are evil. But Robin is by far one of the more skilled members of the Straw Hats, and weaponizing in espionage and stealth, being able to get into places and not be noticed. So she could easily get into places and even take the poneglyphs if she wanted to. Or not even take it, just be able to take imprints of the poneglyphs and be able to read it, because that's the whole reason. Everybody should have Robin for one reason and one reason alone. She can read the poneglyphs expertly. Everybody on O'Hara could read it, so Robin can instantly read it because she studied for that stuff. Also, her ability to Bloom Fruit allows her to grow any part of her body and use it as a weapon. You kind of see this a lot in the series when she's able to clutch people or crack their necks, crack their backs, slap them, and even latch onto multiple strands of her hands to make giant body parts like giant arms, giant legs. And even she used this ability against Black Maria by using her Demonio, which is by far the scariest ability she has, becoming the literal devil herself, which is scary on every sort of angle. So for her, basically she weaponizes an espionage. She is a great combatant since she also knows Fishman Karate, or some parts of Fishman Karate, and she's just honestly one of the best members of the crew to have, or some members of the crew I should say. Just kind of have to put that out there. Anyways, moving on to our next support, we have, y'all probably about to hate me, but I chose Sama. You're probably asking yourself, why did I choose a 6-year-old to join the crew? I'm gonna be 100% with you. She needs a family. She needs a family, and she needs a family desperately. Have you seen how bad her backstory is? Good lord, it is heartbreaking. Good lord, I feel bad for Tama. Like, she needs a family. And joining my crew would definitely give her one. She desperately needs some love. And just needs to get out of Wano, seriously. Besides for needing a family, she also has a unique devil fruit called at least this is what I've interpreted as the Dongo fruit. It allows her to tear off a piece of her cheek, hold it out, and it turns into a Dongo. With it, she can literally feed her Dongos to any animal, and they become her slave for at least a month. Or not even slave, just kind of like a subordinate? She doesn't see it that way, but again, that's because she's 6. She doesn't see it that way. But with this ability, she's allowed to control animals that eat her little cheeks. Dongos. It's very hard to explain without getting weird. Just know she can pull off her cheek, Her cheek turns into a dongo, and she can feed it to an animal, and they become her subordinate, I guess you could say. Basically, I would make her stand as support for one of the other fighters, and basically have her tame the area around her, so that we could not get attacked by animals, or we could use them to attack other pirates if need be, or the Marines, depending on how far this ability goes. You actually see that she was able to turn a lot of Kaido's subordinates into her fighters so that she could turn the tides for the Straw Hats, and it worked out extremely well. So yeah, Tama, you're joining the crew and you're joining our family. We're gonna skip that one because that's gonna be the last. As for this next one, I just had to keep because it works so well with being a Zoan. Chopper has to join my crew. Chopper is the doctor of the Straw Hats, as well as the only one of the weakling trio that's actually strong. He ate the Hitohitonomi, the human fruit, that allows him to basically talk like a normal human, walk like a normal human, and has sort of enhanced intelligence, but he's like, he's the youngest member of the Straw Hats. I think he's either 10 years old. With this ability, he managed to activate 6 points of his fruit, and with his skills as a doctor, he also has the Rumble Bowls, which allows him to access Monster Point for 30 minutes. Again, he's just a doctor, so I'm not going to really have him be in fight, but if he needs to, he can handle himself. I mean, he smacked up Queen. It's not like he beat Queen, he at least held his own against Queen. At least with Marco. He still is a competent fighter, he just has to learn how to not be scared of everything every once in a while. But Chopper, you're joining my crew. Next, we have Frankie Super! Man, do I love Frankie as a character. He is by far one of my favorite members of the Straw Hats, especially in the dub, because he sounds awesome in the dub. Frankie is the shipwright of the Straw Hats. He is by far the most skilled person when it comes to fixing ships, and also because he has fixed himself into a cyborg, he also has some nifty trinkets that also help in battle, like the Shogun Frankie, the Kuda Burst that's on the Thousand Sunny, that allows them to fly through the air for short distances, and it all runs on cola. Let's remember this. He made his body and the ship run on cola. Man, you gotta clap it up for Frankie. Frankie knew what he was doing, cooking up in the lab. He's also a very skilled inventor, so whenever he cooks up something, it's usually good. Also, by being a shipwright and a carpenter, he can basically make things in like 5-10 seconds flat. Like, he made a bunch of stairs and crawled and built them to climb up to oars just so that him and Chopper could punch him. It was the dumbest thing ever, but again, this is One Piece. You can't bring logic into One Piece. As for the 5th support, so this is a character that we have been wanting to know about for a while. We have been hearing his name here and there. We've been hearing stories about this man, what he has done to devil fruits, gave an inanimate objects devil fruits. And we just want to know more about him. After Wano, we finally found out who this man was. Gentlemen, Vegapunk is joining my crew. Yes! I wanted to do this for a while. I didn't even think we were going to meet him so soon, but lo and behold, Oda introduced him so late after Wano, and I was just like, we really just got revealed for Vegapunk? That is so cool, Oda. So Vegapunk is by far one of the smartest characters in all of One Piece, or at least relatively smart. There's nobody who comes close to him being the smartest. Like, again, the Marines needed him to make so many weapons for them to take out pirates, but then he also has his own deal, because Kuma ended up sending the Straw Hats to certain places that they would train up and get stronger, because they were not ready for the new world. And that was all Vegapunk's doing. Was Vegapunk doing this for his own accord, or was he just doing it for someone else? We just really wanted to know, and we finally have the reveal for Vegapunk. I'm so excited. Vegapunk would also help out Frankie in the labs, cooking up something for us. Like, we could build the ship to make it indestructible. He could build robots for us. He could build enhanced weapons for me and the fighters. Like, just so much stuff that he could make. That is so cool. Also, you want to know why this man's so smart? He ate the brain fruit. It allows him to basically remember everything, which is why he's a brain human. He's incredibly smart that his head grew to the size of a building. Want to know how big that building is? Egghead is so big. It was so big that he somehow managed to chop off his head and basically make an antenna that sticks into his noggin. And the entire building just sticks onto an island. It's most likely still growing to this day. But still, it's huge! I want to add Vegapunk on my crew so bad, and I'm so glad I waited. This was so worth it. Vegapunk, you're joining my crew, you're building some awesome weapons for us, and we are taking over the new world. As for the last member of our crew, we are having Uta from One Piece, Film Red. Sorry my shirt sucked, but this is a picture of Uta. Basically, Uta is the child of red hair Shanks. Yeah, this Shanks' daughter. Weird that we're just getting this information now, but then again, we barely know anything about Shanks to begin with. Uta is by far one of my favorite characters that Oda considers canon. Or he confirms she is canon because he actually made her out in one panel near the end of Wano as a wrap up, because Shanks was talking to Aramaki and he was like, are you that afraid of the new era? And we see a panel of Uta. So she is canon. And spoiler alerts for Film Red, she's still alive. Or I should say, non-spoiler, because Film Red's not canon and Uta is canon. But she also will play as the musician, which works well because she also has the Sing Sing fruit. The Sing Sing fruit allows the user to, when they sing, they transport the soul of the person who hears their singing to basically a destination of the user's choice. So say it's like we're sailing the seas and we want to hear some good music. Somebody who is sailing the ship or watching out will have to be able to not hear her music, which is why I also have Vegapunk and Frankie build some noise canceling headphones for those who's sailing the ship. Also in this world, the user is completely in control. There's no way to break out unless the user passes out, which is going to be hard to do because it requires a lot of stamina, and Uta definitely has a lot of stamina. He's a worldwide singer. Plus, I just think it would be cool to have Shanks' daughter on the crew. I mean, her ability is really broken if you really think about it. It's just the stamina thing that you really have to look out for. I would say maybe she could hold it for maybe an hour or two regular, but we see her in Film Red like eating these awake shrooms, I guess, and she's just staying awake the entire time, and it, spoiler alert, killed her. But yeah, those are all of my supports, and I think the supports actually work out really well. It's the attackers that you're gonna have to worry about. Now, as most of you guys know, a lot of the supports really have devil fruits, so they can't really... Here's why the devil fruits are a big thing in One Piece, and why so many people would like it. They give unique abilities. Abilities that basically the users either get the ability to turn into animals, or abilities to turn into essentially any element, or just the ability to make arms or hands grow. However, there is a limit to this. you cannot swim. The biggest drawback of the devil fruit is that you cannot swim at all. Which is kind of the bummer since most of the world is covered in water. And people want to go out and be pirates. So for my fighters, I needed to choose some characters that could swim. Or at least the ones who were expert swimmers. So for my first fighter, I chose Sanji. Which, I know most of you are like, Blazeix, why the hell did you choose Sanji? Didn't you choose... Oh, trust me, I got somebody. But Sanji is by far one of the characters that I really enjoyed watching in Whole Cake. I liked learning about his backstory. Do I think his motives made no sense looking back on it? Absolutely not. There's a good reason Zoro, Robin, Frankie, and Usopp didn't go to Whole Cake. They knew it was there was a dumb idea and Sanji knew it. It's just that he was being too kind. But Sanji is by far a really strong fighter. Being able to take out the third strongest member of the crew, of any crew, really. And being strong enough that he can clash with Zoro and be strong. Be able to get up. Like, Zoro's too strong for most people. Sanji gets up like it's nothing. Plus, he's a good cook, so you need some good food when you're out at sea. Also, Sanji is just indestructible at this point. He's a monster now. Like, Sanji is so strong, he took a sword to the head and just like... Did you just smack me with a sword? Like, and it was a big sword too. Like, I want to say at least, like this long in length, in width, I guess you could say. Like, it's a big sword. Like, it's like a Cloud sword. Multiply that. Think of Cloud sword. Multiply that times 10. It's a big sword. And Sanji just took it because of like, yes. But then it's because of his enhanced exoskeleton. Like, it's finally kicking in. If you guys don't know, Sanji is like an enhanced human, or at least his family is, because Judge really wanted an enhanced family, and I'll explain his backstory, but long story short, Sanji's mom actually took some drugs that actually stopped at least Sanji from getting the genetics, but sadly it's kind of getting into him now. The only reason Sanji didn't want to was because he didn't want to become a monster like his siblings. Not having emotion, not being kind to others, that kind of stuff. But now that he kind of realized that it's actually a good thing and he's not becoming a monster, he kind of is using his exoskeleton and making his attacks stronger and more faster. Which is why he has his Infinite Jambe now, which essentially is just Diablo Jambe, but a lot stronger. He has blue flames now instead of the regular red flames. And if you guys know anything about flames, blue flames are always cool. But always stick with the red ones. They're flashy. So Sanji is able to make some new attacks with Infinite Jambe and easily knocks over commanders like Queen. Because good lord, is he strong now. Carrot is also joining my crew. For those that don't know, Carrot is a mink from Zou, who is by far one of the more competent fighters, at least when she actually gets serious, because she is adorable. She's also one of the few members of Zou that could actually hold their own against most combatants. Because she is honestly really strong. Like, she dodged an attack from Zoro. Then again, Zoro wasn't really paying attention. But again, she dodged an attack from Zoro. You know how hard it is to dodge Zoro's attacks? It's hard. The only one that did that was Kaido. But he barely dodged that. Because he knew it would hurt. Carrot is a strong fighter from Zou because most people most minks from Zou are just relatively strong. They even said a child could square up with people. This is why you don't really mess with minks. They are strong. Because they also have electro. Basically, the fur also causes static electricity, which also causes lightning to shoot from them. So basically, they could come up to you and then shock you. So you're just a random marine, touch, and just shock you. Also, I'm not even talking about their Sulong form. In a full moon, if they just look up, they will start changing, becoming more feral, more ferocious, and more strong and wild fighters. We see this both times at Whole Cake and in Wano, when Inarashi and Nekomamushi are going to town on Jack, along with their entire army. I also loved it when Kaido was like, "Oh, you came to fight me? You know what's different about this time? You guys don't have Oden." And Nekomamushi's just like, "You're right, we don't have Oden. But guess what? It's also a full moon. And we're ready to pounce." Good lord, do I love the Sulong forms. They are just so awesome. And I feel like you need a Sulong on your crew just to make it just a bit strong. Coming up next, it's one of the reasons that I have so many Devil Fruit users is because of Jinbei. I needed Jinbei on the crew. Like, I feel like Jinbei has to be on your crew if you are going to do a crew. Like, you need a fishman. That way that if you have a lot of Devil Fruit users, which you really shouldn't, at least have more members who can swim than any Devil Fruit users. You need somebody like a fishman or a mermaid on your crew so that you can just they can just catch you if you fall into the water. I really wouldn't have that problem because a Manticore has wings. I could fly. And so could Robin, and I guess... no, I don't think Vegapunk can fly unless we build him a jetpack. But Jinbei is a strong fishman. He is honestly one of the stronger combatants of the Straw Hat Pirates now, making it the Monster Quartet, if we're really being honest. Not really clashing with Zoro or Sanji, but really holding his own as like a strong member of the crew. Like, you don't want to mess with Jinbei when he gets serious, which he always is serious. The stoic but firm father figure of the Straw Hat Pirates. Also, he is an expert at Fishman Karate, so he could actually teach most of the crew members how to do Fishman Karate if we wanted to. Honestly, we wouldn't be able to do it the same way he could because it utilizes the water flow and uses a lot of techniques that require you to be in water. But he could still teach us some things here and there just to make it more utilized. Also, he'd be the helmsman. He literally surfed the Thousand Sunny while in Whole Cake. Oda, you blew my mind. You blew my mind with this. I couldn't hold it. I can't hold it, man. Like, good lord, can you not make Jinbei so cool? He cannot be this cool. Awesome. I can't. Jinbei is just so cool. He's a character that I really enjoyed, and I feel like a lot of people really enjoyed him after Whole Cake and after Fishman Island. So yeah, Jinbei, you're joining the crew. Next, we have Katakuri, the second hand to Big Mom. I never said I couldn't have her son. So Katakuri is by far one of the more skilled members of the Big Mom Pirates. Not to say that no member isn't skilled, but if you want to be afraid of somebody, be afraid of Katakuri. This man is scary. And it's not even just because of his Devil Fruit, but it's also because of his Haki. He has advanced observation Haki. Now, observation is just basically like sensing your opponent, sensing where they are. Like, if somebody is like 6 feet behind you, you're just like, I know you're there. But essentially, because he has advanced observation, Oda took this one a bit differently. So when Katakuri is introduced, it was just like, oh, he has advanced observation. What does that mean? It means he sees into the future. Now basically, if you heighten your senses enough, you can actually look into the future for like maybe a couple seconds, and you can just counter attack, which works well with his Devil Fruit. Now he has... I can't deal with Oda's naming senses for this. Like, Oda basically made his Devil Fruit so weird looking that he had to basically retcon it. So basically, he has the Mochi Mochi Fruit, which when introduced, it kind of felt like a Logia in a sense because of the way it feels. Because Logias, in a sense, are devil fruits that are more rare because of how nobody can really touch you if you have a Logia. So if you eat the flame fruit or the ice fruit, you're pretty much immune to like grunt attacks. But Oda had a retcon because Mochi isn't a natural element. So he basically categorized it as a special paramecia. So not a Logia, but basically a paramecia in a sense. And essentially it is just him being able to stretch and contort his body because it's Mochi for whatever reason. I stopped questioning One Piece after Buggy ability, so that kind of sets my sights low. But again, he has some advanced observation haki. He could train us to use advanced observation haki if we wanted to. Also, we kind of needed him on the crew, so that's why Sanji is also on the crew. He can make donuts! And if you didn't think my crew could get this monstrous, look at who my left-hand man is. Kozuki Oden! When I was introduced to Kozuki Oden, I just fell in love with his chat among chats, because this man was just too awesome. There were stories among stories of Oden during the flashback. And even before the flashback, we were telling stories about Oden before he was introduced. Like, he was like, oh, he was a chat among chat. He was somebody who could actually cut up Kaido. He was somebody that you really did not want to fight. But he was a good man nonetheless. Like, his power was just scary. Real scary. Like, he would go up to mountains and take men's wives. Like, he was just doing all this stuff at a young age. Like, the things they were saying about Oden was just crazy. On top of that, he just had some really strong haki. The man didn't have a devil fruit, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't with 1-to-1. But he was just a Chad among Chads. Like, good lord. He even clashed with Whitebeard and thought, oh yeah, I can take him. Like, I'm just gonna cut up Whitebeard and then go join his ship so I could get out of Wano. Not only did he join Whitebeard's crew after like a trial, he also joined Gold D. Rogers' ship and rode with him to get to the One Piece. I wouldn't have cared if he knew the One Piece. I just needed him to basically be there as a strong combatant. Also, there's also the rope poneglyphs you have to deal with. You don't need to worry about this because Oden can also read the poneglyphs because of the Kozuki clan. Because apparently they can also read the poneglyphs for some reason. Just good lord, is Oden just a character. And I also love that he was able to scratch up Kaido because he's just that strong. Like they needed a way for him to get strong, and just good lord, riding on Whitebeard and Roger's crew, that was oh good lord, is he just a monster. He tanks attack like I take working long hours. Good lord, is Oden just one of my favorite characters. Good lord. And if you didn't think my crew could get this strong, the last fighter is the second Oden. Yamato is joining my crew! Yamato, for those who are unaware, is the character that's introduced at Onigashima, introduced as Kaido's son, but then reveals her real face and that she is the daughter of Kaido. I know people are kind of conflicted. They're just like, oh, it's a man. No, he's a woman. I'm going to call her a her for right now. You can get in the comments all you want, but that's how I'm going to call her. Yamato is the daughter of Kaido, basically being an 8th Oni and mostly human. But don't let that fool you. Because at a young age, she was still clapping up Beast Pirate members as if it was no big deal. Yamato is by far one of the strongest combatants, basically being able to wield Conqueror's Haki at the youngest age of 8. Good lord. Like, we all thought that Doflamingo and Ace were the youngest members. No, get out of the way. Yamato is the youngest member at age 8. And she knew for a fact what she was doing. So if she had Conqueror's Haki at a young age, her ambitions had to have been kingly. Because, good lord, only the strong characters have Conqueror's Haki. The only strong members on my crew that have it are Odin, Katakuri, and just those members. Actually, we have no idea if Jinbei has it. But anyways, getting back to Yamato. She's so strong that she was able to just back up OT with one swing of a Thunder Bagua. She's so strong that she was able to knock out a Nugger with a single hit. She's just incredibly strong, mainly because of her Oni heritage, because Kaido was just a beast. You realize how much damage Kaido took at Onigashima? Good lord, was he just taking hits left and right. Granted, other people's Haki wasn't strong enough, but hers is definitely up there. Also, the fact that she has advanced armament and advanced conquerors, good lord, is she just a beast. On top of that, I'm not even talking about her mythical zone. That would make me the second. That would make her and me the only mythical zones on the crew. Because she has the dog fruit model. I'm going to butcher this. Okuchi no Makami. Essentially, it is a wolf deity that has held in, I want to say, in Japan. I don't necessarily know the lore of it, but I know that Yamato made this devil fruit look awesome, especially when she fought Kaido with it. Essentially, it is the deity, guardian deity of Wano, which is basically why Kaido really wanted her to become the shogun, just because she ate the devil fruit. Essentially, what it does is like any zone, it allows the user to become a hybrid of themselves and the fruit, but along with this, also becoming the full version of the fruit. So like my devil fruit will allow me to become a manticore, or with wings and snake tail. Yamato's would just let her become the wolf. And essentially with this, with mythical zones, you also get a unique ability tapped onto it, because that's the crazy stuff Odin was putting. Like with Marco's devil fruit, it allowed him to become a firebird, but also being able to heal wounds, and also having blue fire, because blue fire is cool. And essentially, blue fire doesn't burn, but it's a different kind of fire for some unknown reason. With Yamato's ability, she basically has control over ice. And this ice was strong. She kind of had a similar Boro breath that was able to match Kaido's Boro breath. And he was strong enough to clash with everybody. Even Goldie Roger. Or I guess not even clash with Roger. Who knows? But basically, she's inherently good with her devil fruit, which is honestly really good. In fact, I'm sure she was awakened during that entire battle, because it definitely looked like she was awakened. Spoiler alert for awakenings. For zone awakenings, they kind of have this little rope, cloud rope thing that kind of made it look a little weird. Kind of the same thing that Luffy has when he enters Gear 4th. Like the little cloud ribbon that he has whenever he's in Gear 4th, Bowman or Snake Man. The Yamato also has that in both the full Makami form and in hybrid form. So that's kind of something that you also have to look out for. Awakened devil fruit users are strong. That's what I want to say. Again, she has Conqueror's Haki, Advanced Armament Haki, so she can easily teach that to everybody on the crew. At least Armament and Katakuri could teach Observation. This would make our crew extremely OP. Do you know how cool that is? And we have Vegapunk. My crew would be super overpowered. Also, Odin and Yamato would kind of be right-hand man. Katakuri and Sachi would be left hand man. I'm basically having so many characters be like right next to me. And again, these characters are so strong. Like honestly, Yamato is by far one of the top tier fighters. Really, anybody should really want Yamato on the crew. Because good lord, is she just strong. And that's it! That's my crew! This video took a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But I'm so grateful that I got it done. I thought this video came out really, really well done. Because honestly, I just had fun with this. I think that's kind of the whole point of this video. I just really wanted to have fun with the video. And just do something kind of silly. Do something kind of silly with it. Because I just think I like doing reactions. Don't get me wrong, I do. But I just kind of needed a break every so often. This just kind of made it seem like I just wanted to have fun. I got the spark back to keep doing reactions. And I cannot wait to bring all these reactions out to all of you guys. I cannot wait for more and more people to laugh and cry with me during those reactions. And even fall in love with the other channels, the Plus channel and the gaming channel. I cannot wait for you guys to see what I have in store for all of you. Because this year is going to be big. I just know it. Anyways, I do hope you all enjoyed this crazy video. I know this is crazy. Don't worry, there are going to be reactions coming soon. Just you wait. Be sure to leave a like, add to your favorites. Want to see more Scorch On videos from this channel, subscribe. I make videos weekly or daily depending on my schedule. Have any requests for reactions whatsoever, leave a link to that video down below. Make sure it's something I'd be interested in and I will definitely react to it. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers, so how many reach that goal and you will get a special video from yours truly. Also go check out the Plus channel and the gaming channel. Link will be down below. With that being said, I hope you all enjoy. Stay tuned for more videos and remember, many hearts never apart. With them all, Blazing Knights. Blazing! Hang on. Blazing! Blazing now! Until next time, take care.